V'eschanan el Hashem ba'is hahilemo. Moshe Rabbeinu, in the last month of his life, pleads and pleads repeatedly with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, davens and davens with all his strength and all his power, that he should be allowed to enter the land of Israel. His love for the land of Israel, his desire to connect with Eretz HaKodesh is so strong, and he davens repeatedly. V'eschanan, the word V'eschanan, Chazal say, has a gematria of 515, to indicate that he davened 515 times. Why is that significant? The truth is that the number 515 is exactly the gematria of the word tefillah. Tov Pei Lamed Hey is 515, and also exactly the gematria of the word shira, Shin Yud Reish Hey, is also 515. So this was a tefillah which was absolutely complete, both with shira and with petition, and addressed to HaKadosh Baruch Hu by the greatest member of Klal Yisrael, maybe the greatest man who ever existed, with all his energy and all his force at the end of his life, and the answer was no. And with this, the Torah teaches us something. Teaches us, first of all, the tremendous love that Moshe Rabbeinu had for the land of Israel, but it also teaches us that there can be a situation in even the most perfect tefillah, which is heard by HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the clearest and most powerful way. The answer is no. And the answer is no for reasons that we can't understand. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees the bigger picture, even bigger than any bigger picture we can imagine, and he sees that there are considerations here which we can't even grasp, where it would have been damaging for Klal Yisrael had Moshe Rabbeinu gone with them into the land of Israel. How exactly? Various different attempts to interpret this, but this is nevertheless definitely the meaning of the opening parsha of V'eschanan, to teach us that the tefillas of human beings are given from our perspective, looked at only through the tunnel vision of our current situation and our assessment of what is good and what is bad. But in actual fact, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a greater considerations. Just one small attempt to answer this question is in the Bal HaTurim on the word Rav Loch. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Moshe Rabbeinu, Rav Loch al Tosef Daber Elai. That's it, don't talk to me anymore about this. The subject is closed. Says the Bal HaTurim, what does it mean, Rav Loch? Rav Loch, so Moshe Rabbeinu, one of his interpretations is that Hashem is saying to Moshe Rabbeinu, it's important that Klal Yisrael see that you, Moshe Rabbeinu, that your powers are limited. It's important that they see that you have a Rav, that the plan of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the divine plan, is greater and more powerful even than your tefillas. What is the meaning behind this idea? I think possibly my interpretation of it is that there was definitely a danger that Moshe Rabbeinu could become to be perceived as a deity, as a divine force. He had done so much, and he had achieved so much, and he was a superhuman individual. And there was a danger that Klal Yisrael might worship him, as indeed, Havdil, other religions have focused themselves around particular individuals and seen them as the greatest, most spiritual, powerful individuals. And that, in a sense, is exactly what the Torah wants to avoid. Wants to avoid also knowing where exactly Moshe Rabbeinu is buried, that his burial place shouldn't become a shrine and shouldn't become a place of worship, and that Moshe Rabbeinu shouldn't be worshipped. And the fact that he has a tefillah, which he is doing in the most powerful way imaginable, right? For a request which is the most justifiable and the most beautiful, holy request possible, and that's refused, is a sign that Rav Loch, that actually you are not a divine being, that you are a human being and that you are limited. And it was vital that the Torah ends up with this message about Moshe Rabbeinu, that for all his greatness, he remained a human being, not to be worshipped in any way whatsoever. This is in itself a very interesting topic about the tefillas of Moshe Rabbeinu. But Parshas V'eschanan has within it possibly the most powerful paragraph of Torah that we know about. And that is, of course, Shema Yisrael. The paragraph of Shema is so central to our lives, and according to Chazal, it is meant to be the first words that a child is taught to teach. should be on the lips of the youngest child, and equally on the lips of a human being just before he leaves this world. From the very beginning of life till the end, we are accompanied by the words of the Shema. What is it that is so amazing about this particular statement and about this particular parsha? So much has been written and said about it, but I'd like to just have a look for a few moments at the inner structure of this Shema. The Shema has got, if you like, it starts off with the most powerful idea of the whole of Judaism, of the whole of the Torah, Hashem Echad, the oneness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the oneness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu really should create an Olam HaYichud, should create a unified world, a world which only has one purpose and one goal, and that is to serve Hashem and to live a life according to the Ratzon Hashem. Rashi actually on the word Hashem Echad says, Bayom Hahu Yeh Hashem Echad Shmo Echad. That this Olam HaYichud, this world, or this ideal spiritual world, is part of our Yemos HaMashiach, part of our messianic vision, and has never been realized in the real world. So in a sense, the Kriyas Shema is describing a world that exists only in potential, but not yet in reality. And that's one of the reasons why we cover our eyes when we're saying Kriyas Shema, to indicate that what we're talking about is not a world that we can observe. The world that we observe is the Olam HaPirud, is a world which is fragmented and is controlled by all sorts of different forces, natural forces, political forces, military forces, social forces, economic forces. All these different forces are shaping the world around us, and they all somehow eclipse the Yad Hashem. And we have to look very carefully to look past all those seeming forces which control our lives, and to understand that it's Al Hashem Echad, that all of them come but only from one source, and this is the oneness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the great idea of Avraham Avinu, the emunah in one Hashem, which was transmitted through the Ovos and the Imahos to Klal Yisrael, and Moshe Rabbeinu formulates it in this magnificent parsha of Shema. The word Echad, another little nice gematria for you. The word Echad is, of course, 13, and there's a very interesting connection to the Ovos and the Imahos on the number 13. The Shloach HaKadosh notes that if you take the names Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, they have got, if you join up all these three names, there are 13 letters. Avram is 5, Yitzchak is 4, so that's 9, and Yaakov is 4, which is 13, so 13 letters spell Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. And equally, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah also together add up to 13 letters. Right, Sarah is 3, Rivka is 4, so that's 7, Rachel is 3, so that's 10, and Leah is 3, so that's 13. So the 13 letters that spell Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, and also spell Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah, they all really represent Hashem Echad. The message that they gave to all later generations is to understand the oneness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the ultimate goal of all our lives, and the ultimate purpose of everything that we do. What's interesting to have a look at a bit more be'iyun, and I'm following here of Tzadok HaKohen in a very beautiful essay, where he speaks about, if you like, the 5 layers of the first paragraph of Shema, which is really an insight into the inner spiritual life of a human being, that the Kedusha starts with the idea. The Kedusha starts with Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad is the first pasuk, and then it moves on to the second layer. And the second layer is from thought, it goes to emotion. The emotion is V'ohavta eis Hashem Elokecha. It goes from the moyach to the leiv. The next level is to be able to feel strongly that we want to translate this idea into our emotions which motivate us in life. From that, it moves on to speech, to dibur, that we should, we should be able to speak about our emunah and speak about the Torah to our children, to our talmidim, to anybody who will listen to us. We have to be able to spread this emunah. So from thought to emotion to speech is the 3 beginning layers, and then it moves on to kedushas haguf, to be able to use every part of the body, that the human body itself, even though it's a physical object, can be consecrated, can be used for Kedusha, and that is Ukshatem Le'os Al Yodcha by tying the Shem Hashem through the tefillin onto our body. We are in fact consecrating the body itself. That is the fourth layer of this emunah of Hashem Echad, and the fifth and final layer is Al Mezuzos Beisecha V'Sherecha, that your home and all your belongings and your physical assets, all of them are dedicated only to one purpose, and that is Hashem Echad. And this is the oneness of Klal Yisrael, the emunah of Klal Yisrael, which is spelt out in Kriya Shema. Just want to end with a very beautiful pasuk in Devarim chapter 20, where the pasuk is speaking about Klal Yisrael going out to war. And the Kohen Mashuach Milchama gives a motivating speech to Klal Yisrael, telling them, don't be afraid, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is with you. And he starts off with the words, Shema Yisrael, Atem Krevim Hayom La Milchama. He uses the words Shema Yisrael. And the Gemara in Seita, Rashi cites the Gemara in Seita, Membeis, and the Gemara says that even if all you have is the zechus of Kriya Shema, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will fight by your side and make sure that you will be successful in your wars. Now this is the greatest segula for all our wars that we have, sadly, that we're going through at the moment. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should protect all our chayalim, and should bring a refuah to all the wounded, and to bring the chatufim back from their terrible plight as hostages. But it is the zechus of the Shema Yisrael. When the Kohen Mashuach Milchama speaks to the chayalim, he says, "Afilu ein lahem zechus, afilu rak Kriya Shema." If all you've got is the Kriya Shema, the understanding that there is Hashem Echad, that we have one purpose and one goal, and it filters through from our brain to our heart, to our speech, to our body, to our possessions. All of them are dedicated to expressing this one truth, and Yehirotza, that indeed this zechus should stand by us and give us strength in difficult times. Amen.